Full shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, just some social shit for everyone, you know what I'm saying? Like, I made this be myself, so hear me. Woo! I mean, like, we can put all that clown shit away. There's some real shit for you. I'm spazzing right now, so listen, let's go. Yeah. It's in their bones, the thugs in harmony for the love of the money. Then fall victim for the cookie, then turn pussy, it's lonely. You said you hold it down when life get rough, we're here now, so show me. We move them losses to them wins. Heavy pounds, we make it ends meet. Converse with only few who make me feel like I be 10 feet.
Welcome back to the channel, people. Hope you are doing blessed and everybody is doing well. As you guys can obviously see, we're here to talk about the man who has actually got everybody talking around Europe, especially after his exploits against Manchester City, and that is Viktor Gyökeres. As I said, his exploits the other day, against Manchester City, has got quite a lot of people talking. But to be honest, he has been, a player that's been on everyone's lips for a while now, and especially, since last season, moving to Sporting, from Coventry. It was a very, would I say, somewhat peculiar move. I won't lie to you. It was a move that, you kind of sat there and thought, really? Is this who Sporting are realistically going to sign? But let's be honest, in terms of goals and output, he has been probably one of the top 3 strikers, out there across Europe, if you think about it. Obviously, when you're looking around Europe at strikers, especially top strikers, there's few and far between. Of course, we've got Harry Kane and Erling Haaland, probably two of the best strikers that are around town. But when we then take a look, at the kind of next best, there are a few, other candidates there. You've got players like Victor Osimhen, of course, currently on loan at Galatasaray, and currently still on the books of Napoli. But of course, that whole situation with his contract and, everything that was surrounding that situation. Lautaro Martinez, another, good striker playing for Inter Milan at this current moment in time. Probably a striker that, many people already know, especially around Europe. Definitely a striker that I think that quite a lot of top clubs, if they could, they probably would look to sign someone like him. But after that, there isn't that many top level strikers, if we're being totally honest. I think we've now reached a stage where, listen, there are some good, decent strikers around, players like Isak, you got Dovkik, players of that kind of ilk, Diogo Jota, Ollie Watkins, Vlahovic, they're all right strikers, but I wouldn't call them really top class strikers. And I do think that the striker market at this current moment in time in today's game is very scarce. If you're not Lewandowski, who's a veteran, in terms of just him as a player, one of the best strikers, of his generation, it's very rare that you're going to find too many top level strikers. Whereas, back in the day, as we know, more or less every team had, a top class, top level striker. And then from there, it was just about, you were able to separate the very, very elite to world class. Whereas now, I just feel like there's a level of, it just goes kind of world class in Haaland and Harry Kane, for example. And then you kind of drop down to the other names, the other kind of players who are all kind of within the same level. They're all grouped into the same kind of category in terms of level of player that you're going to look at them. Yes, you might say one is better than the other, of course, just because of attributes and how they fit into certain teams, certain systems and things like that. But when we look at it on the face of it, the reality is most of these strikers that we probably would all rate, they're probably all in the same kind of category. I don't think they would move up categories just because you think such and such is just that little bit better. This is kind of where someone like Gyökeres, kind of comes into it, is that, you're talking about a guy who spent 2 seasons over there in Portugal. In 67 games, he has 66 goals. If that was Haaland, of course, we'd be talking about it. And, Haaland was doing it in, the Bundesliga, for Borussia Dortmund. And we were lauding, the fact that he was scoring so many goals. And, over there in, Bundesliga, he's not even playing for the best team. And again, it's kind of similar here, when it comes to Sporting Lisbon And when we're looking at someone like Gyökeres, again, you know, you've still got Porto, you've still got Benfica, you know, teams who are probably maybe just that little bit better and obviously bigger than a Sporting. And he is still scoring so many goals. You know, it's actually just becoming a little bit frightening. And I think that's where I'm looking at him now, and I'm saying, you know, it's not just a one season thing for him. Of course, you can look at the leagues, you can, you know, look at the type of players and the defenses that he's coming up against. But when you look at some of the goals that he scored, some of the things that he's done, you know, in these kind of games, you know, it comes to a point where, you know, you really can't ignore it anymore. And I think for me, what matters most when I'm thinking about a striker and someone that I wouldn't mind, you know, potentially playing up front for my team is you look at the kind of goals that he's getting. And obviously you try and look at it and think, okay, will he be able to do this for my team, you know, in terms of, you know, if he get these same similar chances kind of thing, is, you know, are the type of chances he's getting, will he get that, you know, for my team because of the way my team plays and etc etc. Of course, listen, we're not the professional scouts, we're just the fans, and of course we just look at it, you know, kind of from a simplistic point of view in terms of if he's doing well for one team, why can't he then do it, you know, for another team? And sometimes it is just that simple. Sometimes it's not just that simple. You know, different players, they do different things at different clubs. As I mentioned before, you know, I don't think anybody looked at the fact that he moved from Coventry and thought that he'd be, you know, he'd be doing so well, you know, for Sporting, you know, both in the Champions League and in their domestic leagues. But I think the most important thing is it's the fact that he can finish on both feet and also use his head. And he doesn't seem like someone who's phased when he is in front of goal. And I think that's what I like the most about him. Again, there's still going to be question marks. I don't care what anybody says. The reality is, you know, with a player like this, especially coming from, you know, the Portuguese league, without sounding disrespectful, of course you're going to look at that. And of course you're going to, you know, it's just one of those things that's just natural. You're going to look at these similar type of things just because, you know, we've had previous, you know, with other players potentially coming over there, coming from Portugal. But the reality is when you're seeing the things and the goals, I think that's where I'm going to say, you know what, why can't he go to a better team? And, you know, I'm not even just talking about the Premier League. Why can't he go to a Real Madrid or a Barcelona, for example? If Lewandowski was to leave, you know, that might be the perfect destination. Heck, it could be the destination that, you know, he's waiting for or the club are waiting for. Or, you know, you never really and truly know, because the reality is he knows where the back of the net is and he's hitting the back of the net, you know, way too consistently. And for someone who's doing it this consistently, I think someone's going to probably end up taking a punt on him. And you know what? I don't see that as a bad thing. You know, I think he can go straight to the top. And I think he can go a level higher than he is. And he'll prove, you know, to be a very, very good striker for whoever is able to sign him in the future. Ultimately, the one thing we can all, you know, say for certain is that this guy is a goal machine. And you know, if he's doing it, you know, for Sporting at this current moment in time, there's nothing to suggest that he can't potentially do that somewhere else, regardless of, you know, the teams that he has played for, where he has come from. In the last 2 seasons, he's probably been, as I mentioned before, one of the best strikers, you know, around Europe. So let me know what you think in the comment section. Would you want him at your team? Would he fit into your team? Let me know what you guys think in the comment section. I'll catch you on the other side. Peace.